you call this, Robert?
What?
This?
The name of the movie?
What we're doing?
What we're doing?
Oh, the way it used to be.
Dan, when we were at school,
The way it used to be.
Yeah.
Huh?
you want to put it up here? No.
Mercy me.
Now, I told them when I pulled up and blew the horn, one of the first things that went to your minds was, well, you got everybody in the neighborhood looking at her.
You didn't think that?
Where are we going first, Jeremy?
Kept hearing about something on Colisello Street, but we can't figure out who actually lived
It
there.
wasn't us. It wasn't Mother or Dad.
Okay.
It could have been Mother earlier in her life, younger.
Didn't Aunt Ida live on Colisello? Or, yeah, Colisello.
I heard Boogie. Somebody said
Not
Boogie.
Boogie, but Aunt Ida did. Because we used to visit her there. We used to go.
I know where her house
We
is.
used to go pick, go walk through the flower rows.
Her garden in the backyard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
In her basement, the cellar,
That was pretty spooky.
that was scary.
with all those.
I used to have to cut grass with one of them push mowers. You know, the rotary blade thing?
Yeah.
Now, the one thing she would let me do, and the only thing she would let me do, was sit at that old organ that she
Yeah,
had.
the pump organ.
The pedal thing. Oh my heavens. That was so much
Sit there, I
fun.
had to play the damn thing.
Well, that's
I
what
wish
you
I
get for
could've
being
sat
so
there.
smart.
Well, that's your fault for being so
Right,
talented.
right, Jeremy, you getting all this?
I hope
Well,
the thing's ticking back here. So
She used to have a real fuss with the neighbors because the kids would come up and ring her bell or bang on the door.
oh, that's
and
right.
They'd take off and
They'd
run.
hit the doorbell and take off running.
Yeah.
Well, it's always fun to do that.
And
I
was-
still
but-
do that.
But she didn't say kids. Because
Mean kind of lady. I
I
mean,
remember her smile.
she was scary.
You had to come from Florida to get a smile.
Well, that's because you were the firstborn.
But whatever.
Well, I tell you what, she and June.
It's because you could play that organ. That's why.
She and June had about the same smile.
oh, June from Illness.
Yeah.
The L&S
That's who I can compare Aunt Ida to.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
no, Aunt Ida wasn't that bad. Now, Grandmother Garber was.
Yeah.
Now she didn't smile
No.
much.
That's where people got it then, right?
You remember that day she went to lunch with a bunch of us and the Lemons came along from church and their
Yeah.
boy, and he was sitting straight across from her and she kept going like that.
Grandmother Garber?
Yeah.
Yeah, she always.
What
And
was
when
she
we got in the
doing?
car, she said, "Deed, honest to God, I thought he was going to kick my hose off."
She did. She was forever saying, "Get out of this kitchen. Get out from underneath my feet."
No, she
You need-
didn't want you messing
You
with
need to
her
turn
dog
right down here,
collection.
Dad.
Don't mess with
You
the
need to
dog.
turn right down here.
Yeah, I just was given the bike.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're special, or you're very considerate of the cyclists.
Never believe it.
Now, Grandmother Garber was upset if you messed with her dog collection.
Oh, you could
And
not
don't get
touch
around
those
her feet
dogs.
because she had something about being flat-footed, no
Well,
arches.
her feet dropped like this when she walked in.
Yeah,
She didn't have the ability to lift her feet.
naturally she was.
But I was nowhere near her feet.
She was afraid you were
Get
going
out
to get
from
there.
underneath my feet.
She was
I didn't know this house existed until last
I
night.
remember this house.
This house is a house Dad went to West Virginia with a truck and filled it full of coal because we burned coal at this house.
Wow.
And we had to come back home then and shovel it out and down a chute on the side of the house.
Would I remember that?
Okay, that's right. Pull in this little space right here. Yeah. This will work. This will work real good.
Is this the house here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right down
460.
there?
Yeah.
Y'all gonna get out and let me take your picture here?
See that angle right there?
I'll
that
get
thing?
shot, no.
That's where you walk down the basement. On this side, there's a little
There's two
opening,
birds getting in.
and that's where you.
More like a cellar, isn't
And that's what you would shovel the coal. There was an actual room full of coal.
Well, isn't that what, don't they call a coal cellar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
it? So I have no memory of that at all.
There
I've
are.
His bedroom was upstairs, or Robert's was
I
upstairs?
had no memory at all. I was just
Too
like
little.
1, 2
Well, you
years
were in a
old.
playpen right here on the sidewalk.
Yeah, there are lots of pictures of you in a playpen on that, right there on that, next to that angel.
Is this where Robert's sitting out in the front yard on the bicycle?
Yep,
Yeah.
right in front of that big shrub right there.
I'm sure I was not birthed.
I think.
First time I was introduced
lilies.
to cactus
As he was.
and what they did to your hands when you touched them was right down that thing where that on past those columns right there. There was a cactus bush back there, and I swallowed that thing. I didn't know what it was, and that thing stuck in my hand. I couldn't even tie my shoes or pull my pants up for about a week.
Or wipe your butt either, right?
Well, that was
Well, you didn't want to do
another
that.
thing. That was,
Hey, you may not know this, Jeremy, but almost directly right where those apartment buildings are was a house, and John and Kay lived there
Yeah, I remember
for a good
that.
long time.
Yeah.
And,
Is it the White House in the pictures across the street from this one?
yep,
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
Does it have 2 front doors?
I think
No.
it did.
Did it?
I think it did.
I don't remember that.
All three of these do.
Are you on the show?
Well, those are
Live?
apartments.
Yeah.
They tore that house down. They built
Oh, I
these.
haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
They tore the house down.
All right,
and built
before we
these.
go, hold on.
Before we go, I want y'all to turn around and look at me. I'm gonna take a picture of y'all in this. Okay,
Are we
ready?
still moving?
No, I got it.
Oh,
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Wait, Mama, look at me. You gotta turn around.
did you guys get your
Turn your head.
bonine?
1.
My neck is stiff.
There you go. 1, 2, 3.
She's looking at me.
Okay.
It's all right.
Oh. My best girlfriend that I had, I got a picture of her sitting in the
You
corner.
got about 5 feet, or you have 5-10 feet back
I'm good
here.
up here. Where are we going?
Got a picture of her sitting. That's where
Drive
I learned
up.
to play the piano in that house.
You learned there in
You
church?
learned here?
I was practicing the piano in
The
that
guy,
house.
the evangelist stayed in this room with the little white thing sticking out right there, the air conditioner. He's the one that stole our typewriter when we left.
No kidding.
Stole Mother and Dad's typewriter.
Holy moly.
He was a big guy.
Daddy told me that I was going to have to play the next Sunday because the Millers weren't going to be able to be there.
Go-
And we
go
got
up the
down beside the
Shenandoah
bench,
Street,
and Daddy prayed over me, and I started practicing and playing, and that was the beginning of it. We had a piano in the front room on the right.
Wow.
How old were
I've
you
seen
then?
pictures of there are pictures
And
of
that's
that
where I
piano.
got yellow jaundice. I was about 12, 13-ish. 14, not, I don't even
When
We're
he
going to
prayed over you
Shenandoah
to
Street,
play?
right?
Right.
Yeah, I
Prayed
think
over
if you
you to
go
play?
left at the
Yes.
next one, you can get up there.
All right.
And then I started taking a few lessons, and I hated it for 2 months. They made me practice, and I wouldn't.
so
they
you were
stopped.
playing before I was even born.
They stopped playing.
Well, I think
14
Becky
years
was born at that.
difference
No, Mama was 14 when Becky was born.
There are pictures of
now. These
baby
houses do
baby
seem to
Becky
look
pictures
back
No,
that
they
might
don't
be
do
at that.
all
I'm not
that.
sure though. Anyway, Becky doesn't have any memories up there, so.
then. Water Street.
Why do you have memories?
No, I said of there at Water Street.
Or, as other people would call it, is celebration.
Y'all have memories of Grandmother Garber at this house on Shenandoah
You
Avenue?
know that we lived, Dad and Mother and all of us lived in a house right about where them tanks are. And that's where I blew myself up one day. I lost a week of school.
On
What'd
this
you
side
do?
where those tanks are?
Yeah, right there.
How'd you blow yourself up?
Well, I was pouring kerosene in the fire to get it going. I didn't realize
There
there
you
were
go.
red coals down below it. And when I turned back around, I poured in there, sit down. Right here is, just right in here is where that house was.
Huh.
They tore all these houses down.
Is this Shenandoah?
No, this is Bruce.
Zigzag over.
What's the name of this?
Bruce.
Bruce.
This is no Bruce.
Bruce.
That's where
Yeah.
That's where red front number 3 was.
Where?
Right there. In that building.
That building right there? See there?
Really?
Yep, that,
We would
that
never
was,
know that.
Originally it was Hillside Grocery, and then Poppy bought it and made it red front number 2 or 3. I believe it was 3 because the one on South High Street was 2, and so this would be 3.
Where was one?
Where we're
Downtown.
the main store.
That was one.
At the square.
All
You
right.
know you turn left here.
Yeah.
So that's Brook Street.
That one we just came off of.
That was Bruce. Bruce.
Brook.
It said Brook on the
Oh,
sign.
well, I guess I got it wrong.
I was worried about my reading.
This is Shenandoah now.
No, I trust your all's
Now,
Did you say Shenandoah?
Shenandoah.
Shandor.
Shenandoah.
Shenandoah Ave.
Didn't you and Nancy live on this street?
No, not on this one.
But it is weird that Nanny and Grandmother Garber, Nanny and Poppy, Larry and Carol, and
which house?
It's further down. It's on the other side of this little brown
Close to the
house.
corner.
They've just built that brown house. That wasn't there.
That one?
This one right here is brand new. That's less than a year
Isn't it the
old.
green one is?
The green
It's
one
this
here.
little green one, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
That was
And
Grandmother
Johnny
Garber's.
Kay lived in there too.
well, Larry and Carol did first. In fact,
That looks like Aunt Norma's.
That's where Johnny poured
This-
kerosene.
This is not the house I remember Aunt Norma.
Is that where John burned
No, this
himself?
is not,
Yeah.
but it looks like.
this is
See, I'd always heard that story
John
too.
burned himself?
Yeah.
Larry and Carol.
Oh my goodness.
Right in the back,
Larry and Beckie.
back of that.
Okay.
And I could clear those basement steps
Who lived in here
in a
first?
flat 2 seconds
Grandmother Garber.
from the basement all the way to
When
the
did
top.
you leave and move
Because
here?
you were
I'm
afraid.
not sure.
Scared to death of the
I don't
dark.
remember grandmother being here.
Buggy,
In the basement?
monkeys all down in the basement everywhere.
Bunkies down there. Oh.
So where do you remember Grandmother Garber living?
Yeah, she got an angel out
The
there.
South Avenue.
Big road, wide. Had a lot of room in their front yard. Long sidewalk. When they had the flowers for his death, they laid them out like this, out from the sidewalk.
This one.
So it's possible, guys, that Grandmother Garber didn't live here. Shirley doesn't remember Grandmother Garber living here.
Oh, really?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So Grandmother Garber, Nanny and Poppy, Larry and Carol, and then John and Kay
Mm-hmm.
lived here. So I'm wondering if Nanny and Poppy bought it and just kept it because Larry and Carol lived here and John and Kay.
Granddaddy and grandmother lived in a pretty big home when he died. I mean, when he had the stroke and he sat in that chair with his arm all bent.
Yeah.
It was a long sidewalk going up to their house, and I thought it was on a big street like High Street.
It seems so much smaller now when you pull up in front of that house.
Is it? It's not the one in Dayton, is it? Dad?
Where did he live when he
I
had
don't
that
know.
when he had that stroke?
On
He was
Ohio,
gone
wasn't it?
before I was
Or-
even born.
This is Granddaddy Garber?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What did you all call him?
Originally owned Red Front. He's the one that started it.
Okay.
I
One
think,
on the hill up there across from CVS.
so are we going down to the old church now, Jeremy, or Redford?
You can go. We can either go down to Red Front or because Red Front's there and Greystone and Hillside is all in that area.
Yeah.
And
Well, where is the house where Daddy couldn't? Robert said something. Daddy, can't you park it? And he was trying to flatten out the driveway. Well, I passed it. The Harrisonburg High School is on that road.
Harrisonburg High School's up that way.
that's High Street.
High Street, South High Street.
Well, we can come back through that way
All right.
because the restaurant is over that way.
I was thinking we would go by Aunt Ida's house too, right?
Well, I don't know where. Is that Colisello?
No, that's Gay Street.
I don't know where that is.
East Gay.
That sounds familiar. Gay Street.
That's just because you're on Bruce.
Because what?
Go that way to see.
You're
Go that
on
way to
Bruce.
see.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about Dad driving back and forth. I don't remember the house that day.
I can take you to it. If you over there, it's on South High.
Well, we're gonna go over there because another of Grandmother Garber's houses is out there on South
Yeah.
Avenue.
Mother would get so mad because Robert wouldn't keep his room straight. She'd throw the clothes out the window at the deep end of the house down there.
So that's where she got that
They
idea.
ran on the ground down
She
there.
worked.
did that to
She
me.
practiced it on Robert, and then she did it on Dad too.
I'd go back to my bedroom and turn my little radio on right just this.
I got so embarrassed. I hated any neighbor I ever saw. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Because
I
she could throw the
hated
clothes
telling
out.
them who I was because I live in the house where the idiot crazy mother throws our clothes out the window.
Well, that's only after she hid her cookies she bought in the
And the Pepsis.
dryer.
And the TV cord.
In the dryer, under her bed, everywhere.
Dad kept the cord.
No wonder you had to sneak bites.
I had to make my own cord. They'd go to church,
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
get my own cord out of my dresser and plug it up. I watched TV.
And then they'd come in, you'd have the cord and
I
you
never
on
heard
TV
that.
and it was still hot.
Oh,
Yeah,
they knew
He
it was.
can't figure out. He couldn't figure out how I was able to watch TV.
It was
He
either
could
the
feel
hot or the
me.
little white dot in the middle of the screen.
Yep.
You didn't have a dot back then?
That's because
Yeah,
I used my cord.
if you wait till the last minute to turn it off, you didn't give that thing enough time to get the dot out of the way. You
Uh-huh.
were still busted.
Yep.
So do you remember the tent revival that was here at Redford, on this patch of ground
Before the storm?
before Redford? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Playing the piano.
Yeah. Did he put sawdust
Sawdust floor.
on the? Yeah.
Hot as.
In Mother's papers that I got, that I was looking over, and some stuff I got, is the original purchase price of this land right here. The first little piece. They paid $6,600
To buy this patch of
to
ground.
buy this patch of ground right
Wow. Who bought it?
here.
Grandmother Garber?
No, everybody's name, all the kids, everybody is on that
Really?
paper. It's
Is
almost
that right?
like they all went together.
Oh, look.
There's a PT Cruiser. That's on video.
How freaky is that?
That is something to see that car drive by.
You know, my first job was here.
No.
Poppy told me, he said, I'm going to start you out like I did, making almost nothing.
Hey, y'all stop right here. Stop
And he
right
paid
here.
me 25 cents an hour to separate bottles.
Yeah, I'm
I've
gonna
worked
take a
8
picture of
hours
them
with
from the
the
car
bottles.
with red phone.
Okay.
When that tent revival was here,
You're not gonna keep talking.
No, I'm gonna get out front and take a picture of y'all from the front of the
it
car.
seemed like it was so far out of town. When the tent revival was here, it seemed
Here.
like we had to go a long way to it.
Everybody lean in, she said. Hey,
I can see it.
She's solid.
She's
did a
conditioned
good
for all
picture,
kind of
yeah.
stuff.
She did put a little bit.
French, did I?
Yes,
It was
Just tiny.
There's got to be lots of stories.
not the way we're going to tell it though. You leaked almost on the car. The way I saw it.
Does anybody remember when Golden Stella was down here in the? In the
You know
I
what
remember that.
You know what their slogan was?
It's the sign's still there.
I still sell chicken.
You know what their
Same
slogan was? A leg in the hand puts a smile on the face.
thing. Oh, I don't remember that. That's cool.
Do you
I
remember
remember the steakhouse. I
Go
remember John.
someplace with that.
John ran the steakhouse.
that? Sure he did.
Yeah.
Well, that thing looks small now, but it.
I know
Well, you
it.
know,
Which one was it? The
that was
the
church-
little
was
one
a
back
square
here?
one in the right. Yeah, it was both square. That's a church, you know. They have meetings in there.
In the pharmacy building
No, right
or
here,
the chicken building?
where the bars are on the windows.
What does that sign? Does that sign still say something about chicken? It does, doesn't it?
That was a small place, wasn't it?
Oh no, it says.
Stuff back then.
I can't tell what it says. Well, I think Aunt Becky should start the
story?
the bean story here because it has
Okay.
to do with here and with Greystone.
Well, when we lived on Greystone Street, and I was still being forced to take naps, and because I was way too old, but I was taking a nap, and Mom had put a pot of beans on the stove and had forgotten, and obviously the liquid had cooked down, and she had decided though, while I was taking my forced nap, to go to the grocery store, which was Redfront right here, which is where Robert was working. He was a teenager. He had a job there. So she was gone, but when I woke up, the whole entire house was full of smoke. and I couldn't hardly see. I didn't know what to do, and I tried to call. I called Boogie, and she said, "Well, you don't know where your mama is." I said, "No," and she said, "We'll call Red Front," because she knew that they were closer than Boogie was. So it happened. You know, Robert was working, and so I called Red Front. They told you what was happening, because you didn't know where Mama was either.
I say throw the beans out.
No, nobody knew why the whole house was full of smoke. They just thought the house was on fire. And so I just remember you told me, go to the door and stand at the door, you know, get outside the house, but stand at the door. And I remember your car flying up the hill, and you jumped out of the car, left just so vivid, left the car door open, and you came tearing up, grabbed me, hugged me quick, and went tearing in the house. And you know, it had just caught a little bit of things on fire, but you had got there, you know, just enough time. But Mom comes in and wants to know everything, what's going on, and what in the world, and you know, it's like, well,
Did you ever find out where she went?
she'd gone to Red Front. She
And left you at home to sleep.
yeah.
With beans on the stove.
Was I in school?
Yeah, I don't know where you
How old would you have been?
It's still forced napping.
You must have been.
Well, Lord, I forced nap till I started going to school.
Well,
I did something yesterday.
you might. Who forced you? You might have been. I don't know. You might have been 7.
I grabbed myself by
Or
the nape of the
8
neck. I said, "Get on
in
in there."
school.
I bet I was at school.
And I might have been. Yeah, you were probably at school.
Where were you at school, Dad? Then?
I went to elementary school at Parkview at the 3-room school, Park Elementary. It was a 3-room school. There were 2 or 3 grades in each room, and I went there my 4th grade.
And when I went, they only had 2 grades in the room. But that was so confusing, especially for a borderline ADD, ADHD kid. You're like, oh,
There
I
was
can't
there
not
was a
listen to
pickup
her.
right out here by the McCars this last week. Woman was driving it. She got out, slid out of the seat. Her ankle came back like that, broke her foot completely off of her leg, and it was holding by about an inch of skin on the back side.
Yikes.
Well, that's pretty
That happened
story.
just. That's a good story.
Well, that'll make the video. But she's
and-
not family,
Not gonna be able to
right?
eat
No,
for
not
a while now.
family, but the ambulance came up and
Big
picked her
fire.
up.
Yeah.
Then Robert was 18,
18, yeah.
and I was 19 and a half, so I was about ready to get married then.
This is where Hartman Motors used to be,
Right.
and Ophelia worked there, didn't she, Robert?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep, right there with
It's a trucking company.
Hartman Motors?
And right up here is where you all lived when Dana was born. In those trailer. In that
Yeah, we got to go by that.
And you had, what was the name of that beagle? Puppy?
Cleo.
Cleo.
Cleo. Yeah.
I didn't
I
make
didn't know Ophelia even lived here.
Well, now. Well.
I lived with y'all. That was while Jimmy was in Korea. He was overseas, and I came up
Yeah.
here and worked for 6 months. Worked at Red Front and stayed with y'all.
You had that 66 Impala. Was it burgundy?
Burgundy.
2-door hardtop.
Yeah,
Oh, Lord.
it was a beautiful car.
Wouldn't you love to have that one back?
Wouldn't have.
Barely.
Well, Cleo died because she got a box. I got a box of dog food. Had one of them leather straps inside. When I was pouring her food out, the leather strap fell out in her dish. And I thought, well, she'll have a big time playing with that. Well, we came home that day and she had strangled on that.
What is the leather
Was
strap
Was
doing?
it right down this street?
So,
Or the
We
next
lived in his
street?
first apartment right here after the trailer.
Yeah, you had the trailer when Dana was born.
Yep.
And it was this next street. Yeah.
So
This
that
is where the crazy lady lived.
Yep. She would get her mail and wipe her butt with it whenever a car came by.
Stop it!
Yeah, she did.
Stop that, Robert!
She would do it right, yeah.
Yeah. She would.
In that little White House?
She painted her car, her pickup, with a broom and a green paint and a broom and a 5-gallon bucket. And she painted her whole car with that.
Right here's where the trailer was.
Right there.
Right there.
Oh, hello, buddy.
No, it's where the log house is.
Right here, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So what was there?
We had a trailer there.
So you and Ophelia and you
Yeah.
had Dana there?
Yes. Well, not in
Not in that house,
not in the trailer.
but while you were living there.
Yes.
Because
This week.
from the house where we're going,
3 days ago.
I had to walk to Park Elementary every day and home, of course. And I walked down College Avenue up here, and there was a hatchery up here. And I remember when I'd go past there, I could hear the chickens peeping in there.
We all had to walk to school.
Yes, we did. And it-
Uphill, all the way.
Both ways, twice a day.
You know what? I mean, truthfully, because we had to wear dresses, it would be so cold that your legs, when you'd get home, would have whelps, like where
gosh.
your dress would. Well, where I had rolled my dress up.
There you go. Well,
go, Beckie.
there you go.
This is
That's what
college.
that heathen living will do to you.
If I'd have worn my dress long, I'd have been
Yeah, if
alright.
you'd have been a Christian all the way through.
You wouldn't have worn your skirt.
We did get to wear rubber galoshes though when it snowed.
Now, didn't Boogie live back here in this little house on the backside of us
No.
for a little while?
Well, I don't think so. I don't remember that at all.
He was in this.
Yeah. Well, you weren't even here when we lived in. Well, you were married.
Yeah.
Where was the house on Greystone? Where was it?
on up there.
Oh, we're not there yet?
We're headed up there now.
Okay.
You know the people
We
made
had a
the
long
apartments
walk.
out of that whole.
Gosh, you had to walk all the way down here. It was on College,
And it was
the
uphill,
school.
look.
Yep.
Robert?
Hillside,
Hillside,
the
they made
street
apartments
where
out of
our home, like the
They made
atrium, the
apartments out of
other
all
one
the
I
way
had to
through.
walk from there
And they even
all the way
closed in
down
the top
to
of it.
Waterman Drive.
Oh, you went to Waterman?
Well, I had to catch the bus there
Oh,
to
gosh.
ride to Pleasant Valley to go to elementary
You
school.
wouldn't come up here?
Oh,
Yeah, but I was coming up here to the White House.
yeah.
This is the house we moved in when we came back, and this is where we were living when Dad built Hillside.
That Mama almost called the house up right here.
Wow.
And
And this is where I would feed the horses. See
Yep.
the they still got horses.
Hey, is that where those
Yes.
pictures are? There are pictures of you guys out with horses. Is that where it is?
And I would feed them apples over the fence. Aww.
yeah, we used to get scraps and stuff from Redfront and bring them up here and feed the horses with them.
Wow.
That's where we were living when I ran my foot into the conveyor belt,
Oh.
and
yeah.
I rehabbed there. And that's also where we were living. I remember being in the bathtub when Poppy and whoever came over, and when they walked through the door, they said, "Well, you're our new pastor. They voted you in." So Faith Tabernacle had to vote when we came back, and they voted Dad in as pastor. And
Those are pretty cool steps, actually, for as old as this house is.
Were those steps there?
I don't remember about this house.
How long did y'all live here?
just about long enough to build
While they
Hillside.
built Hillside.
Oh, so not long. There's some people out there wondering what we're doing.
Huh?
Potter's House Worship
We were here before you were.
We're supposed to be part of the time when I was a doctor. I don't remember that house at all.
Right there is where you came flying up the hill and jumped out of the car
Really?
and
I-
saved me. Yes.
Yeah, brother,
From
I-
catching the house, I mean,
Becky,
from Mama.
do you remember Mr. Eshelman?
Yes.
That's where he lived.
Yeah. He was not a pleasant person.
He was our
Well, he
science teacher.
wasn't. I
He hated
know it.
himself, didn't
Yes.
All right, this is Hillside.
Yep.
Mama, put your
I
visor up.
used to sell stuff to every person that lived up and down here.
he? There's
Hey.
a pot.
Hated seeing me.
I used to
come.
sell Blair lemon extract to all these
yeah?
people. Everything Boogie had, you know, she was a Blair.
Oh, I swear they
Vanilla
You
and
saved a
lemon.
bunch of
Yeah,
people on the street, didn't you?
But they felt sorry for me.
Remember
They
that?
bought.
They bought a lot.
Y'all sold stuff for
Kids, they'd see me coming,
For your
they
mom,
pulled the
for
shades,
Mimi and
he's
people?
got something else for sale.
I sold greeting cards. I made placemats. I made
I didn't make
pot
placemats.
holders.
But I sold greeting cards. This is where Mr. Pence lived. He was my phys ed teacher.
She was my phys ed teacher.
Yep. They were both phys ed teachers.
Yep.
And the Brooks lived here in this house. Our neighbors.
Yep.
And this is Hillside right here.
Yep. And there was nothing beyond this.
That's where they lived
Nothing
before
beyond
Grand.
it.
Yes,
We were the
that's still
very
it.
last
See all the
house.
seal
Yeah,
that
I'll
drops
take a
down
picture.
on the other side?
I'll drive down and we'll come back.
You get a better view?
Yeah,
Okay.
from up high.
And that wall
That's
was
the
not
house
like
just
that
over there
either.
now.
No, it was River Rock when we lived.
Yes, it was.
And this entire front was a garage door.
And this is where we had Conky and Sadiq.
They enclosed that garage and made it a room then.
Yeah, I know.
How are you gonna get out of here?
We'll back in.
Conky and Sadiq.
Now, right there's where,
Buried
see where
right-
that gray car is? That's where the poison ivy patch was. That Becky said wasn't poison ivy and she rolled around in it.
And Kaka and Sadiq are buried somewhere in the hill.
Conky is Sadiq went to Kentucky with us.
Oh, okay.
She's buried right up there.
Right up here?
Just
Conky?
right there. Yeah.
Right,
Is
the
it
whole
here?
little
She,
circle.
she was buried somewhere right,
Right
in
up
there.
here because I would stand from the garage and watch.
Hey, I'm sorry to bug you. We used to live, our dad built this house in 64 and we lived here, and so we're just kind of doing memory lane stuff. Nothing weird.
Ask him about the atrium.
Does he live here?
It's still there.
I know, but they
They don't
closed
have
it
a tree
in.
in it.
They did?
Yeah, they put a lid, put a roof on top.
I don't think there is. I think it's still
I
there.
think it's still open.
At least according to Google Maps,
You
it's still
probably
open.
know. Oh, we'll never know. Hey!
There's more.
You might ask me if he lives here.
Can I ask you one question? Is the patio still in the middle? It's open. Is anything growing in there? Okay.
Used to have a tree in
We
there.
had a tree in it when we lived here. Yeah. So that was a big deal. Yeah. There was nothing in the basement. It was all dirt, and we lived upstairs. Yep, a lot of memories. And there was nothing from here out. There's no houses. All this was. He built it in 1964. I moved out in 71. Left home, and my sister Becky lived here for a little while longer.
We're all about 100 right now.
Then they built another house over on the other side, over off 33. Same design, patio in the middle with a tree growing in it. And it's for sale, by the way. If you want to buy it. Our mother just passed, so thank you. Yeah, she was 96, so she got a lot in.
Ask him if anyone ever
We're
found
blessed.
the silver buried under the patio. I'm sure you're.
We haven't listed it yet, but it will be in about a week or so. The address is 278 Grand, right at 290, 300. Yeah, we're still working out some details, but it's almost the exact same house minus the garage, but the basement, the lower level is actually finished off. So there's
Yeah, you can
room
leave that one
for,
right on top.
you could make an apartment down there, or
Mama.
it's a pretty neat house.
Smile.
278 Grandview.
It's right beside the water tower.
I'm Dan, and we're all going. Right there at that front door,
Before you go in.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Right there at the front door, they had concrete with little river rocks buried in the pattern. Was it Chinese?
Mm-hmm.
That said welcome.
Yep.
So they took little river rocks and they stuck it in the wet concrete and wrote out
Yep.
welcome in Chinese.
So that's still there?
No,
I'm
they
sure
put
they tore it up.
they put
Board of-
They did.
board
See
over
the
It might be
rocks
under
right
the
there?
board.
That's what I'm thinking.
Where are the river
See the
rocks?
river rocks right here?
Can y'all see the river
That's
rock?
what they. Yeah, that looks.
This
This
whole
whole bank
wall
right here was river
was.
It looks
Except
like
it
the same
was-
stuff on the fireplace at Grandview.
Except it wasn't straight up, like it was, you know,
Sloped.
Yeah,
sloped.
they've done the landscape blocks on it now.
Oh, wait, this stone thing is getting. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I was gonna say that thing has gotten closer and closer.
It was
4 feet from the car, and now I can't even
Those
see
Red River rocks.
where it begins. So I'm thinking,
There was no deck on the back of the house.
Mm-mm.
But there was a front.
And that is the house that Mama threw our clothes out the back went all the way, and it's really a long ways down
is.
from the back of that
Yeah.
house.
One interesting thing, I remember, I have a picture of Beckie standing out here, and everybody I showed that picture to, or everybody that ever saw it, said she was so beautiful and cute. And I remember thinking, really? Do you see something I don't see? I'm sorry, Beckie, but I didn't think you were near as pretty as all they did, but it proved to be true. You are beautiful.
This is where Mom and Daddy had their 25th wedding anniversary, right in that corner. That was the dining room right there. And they had their 50th in the other house, which is kind of neat, you know, to know.
That's where Conka and Siddiqui used to, when that was a garage door, they'd bring dead mice,
Dead mice all the time.
they would eat everything but the stomach.
They'd be like, look,
Ugh.
And there'd be a red stomach laying there, looked like a big cherry.
They left him the best part.
look what we did.
I've never been able to eat a cherry ever since then without thinking about it.
Ugh.
And it's no lie.
Are they apartments, or is there one person that lives there?
No, it's broke up in apartments.
Is it really?
Well, I don't know about the upstairs, but definitely apartments downstairs.
And none of this was here, so we can't tell you
That's
nothing.
crazy. I had no idea.
You're learning as much as we know right now on this part.
This was just empty land.
Yeah, it was just up woods. It was poison ivy woods.
Well, just look through this, all the trees are. That's what I got.
And every day about 4 o'clock,
Well, right down there is the quarry.
every day about 4 o'clock, they would blast,
Huh.
shake everything up.
I imagine so.
Because it's everything up here sitting on a rock.
Well, here comes somebody home right now.
And I always went up on the very, very top of the hill and sold stuff because those people up there really had money.
That's Winston Weaver.
Yeah.
And
And they still to this day speak to me and know me.
I didn't have to sell nothing.
Why did y'all have to sell stuff?
that's the only way we got
If
any
you
money.
want to buy your own deodorant and your own pantyhose and your own.
So you had
First
to,
trip down there, we didn't have any underwear on
Hey, Robert,
because we hadn't bought none yet.
hey, you see that door coming out the side of the house there?
Oh, Lord.
You remember that guy walked out and fell straight down?
They never put
Well, I don't either, but I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
That is funny. We got one just like it in the house where we are
I
now.
don't know where the patio, steps or something used to be there.
Somebody tried to climb
Doesn't
back
seem like you could get a permit to build a house.
He was pretty short though, wasn't he?
Porch on
Apparently,
He didn't make a big hole.
so you guys had to sell stuff
For stuff.
to
What
just to
called-
buy what normal
called
kids got.
life. Yeah.
To buy deodorent? You had to go sell
Period.
placemats and stuff to buy deodorant?
Feminine stuff, pantyhose. Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Well,
Thank y'all for breaking that cycle.
there. Cabbage and stuff and red fruit out here, so we had something.
what is he?
That's right.
all right. So
Good
I'm gonna drive you the route that Beckie and I used to have to walk to school.
Cool.
From that house.
What we just did down this road, and we used to sleigh ride down this thing
Oh, this is a good
Oh,
Remember
we
that,
sure
Becky?
did. Oh my heavens.
all the way to the bottom. We'd go to the top. And,
No cars would be out. That's the kind of snooze we got back then.
Yep. And boy, you get some speed up from the top all the way down.
You go all the way down to the park, right?
Oh.
Now it was the devil walking back up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
But it
fun.
was sure worth
This
it.
place is going down.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on around us.
We're not going to get to see where what's her name used to wipe her butt with the mat. Again.
We went by there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
What was her name?
Well, we didn't go out there.
Yeah, you pointed to the house.
We turned right in front of it to go down our
Yeah.
street.
Oh yeah, we did.
And came back
We
up
did
this
cut around. We didn't actually go by it.
How do you know she did that?
Because I saw it every time we went by.
Hey, we're gonna have to hear more details
I
about
just
this.
remember
TMI.
I remember her being crazy. and screaming and making all kinds of. She'd go out and
I do
dance in the
too.
yard.
Well, when she was painting her car with that broom, that did me in. That was it. She is a stupid nuthead.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know when Dan and I would walk home from school, we would, like when we were having to walk, when we were
That's
going to
where the hatchery
Pleasant
was.
Valley,
Right there. That was the hatchery.
the head, yeah, that's it. We would, we had to go, go to Waterman Drive. That was where we caught the school bus. But when we would come home that way, that woman scared us so bad, that house, we would completely cross on the other side of the road, not walking
You
in front
remember,
of.
you remember when she'd crack walnuts and her fingers would be black as coal?
Yes.
So this
She
is
was a
elementary
scary
school years.
woman,
Okay, so well, it's not there anymore, but we're going to take you to where it used to be.
Yeah. We're still walking.
You still had to walk out here on Mount Clinton
Elementary
Pike?
school?
Yeah.
Elementary school.
Yeah.
What was Mimi doing?
All drinking coffee?
Hiding
Well, Mimi
cookies,
never drove.
hiding her
Mimi
cookies
didn't
in the
drive.
dryer.
Oh, but she wouldn't walk with y'all?
No, well, Lord, no. She'd
Well, what
have
do
to
you
walk
mean
back.
she didn't drive?
She didn't drive us to school.
Well, well, I was going to say, where was she when she about burned the house down?
So she did drive.
I don't think
Well,
so. Dad wouldn't let her drive.
got an Uber.
She ran the car up the guide wire, remember?
no.
Yeah,
I remember
I
that.
jumped down out of that
Well,
thing.
where was she when she left me at home sleeping and with the beans on fire?
I don't know, but I don't remember her driving.
Maybe that's part of why she didn't get to drive.
I don't ever remember
That's a
that.
real good reason.
I remember the guide wire.
She was seeing the
been
guide
trying to
wire like this.
practice.
right
What's the
there.
guide wire?
We're still walking, by the way.
Dad was teaching Mother how to
Honest to
drive,
God.
and she drove up
This
one
was
of them
the
wires.
cutest
Set the
little
car up like that on the back
schoolhouse.
bumper.
Right there.
Really little.
It's right down here.
On down, yeah.
Is it still here?
It was
Probably
the,
not.
It was no, it's not. It was the last multi-grade school in Rockingham County. It was right here.
About halfway down. Yeah, about right
It was
here.
right in that field, right there. And
Where?
About right in this area. It's
Okay.
kind of hard
right,
to know.
right, see that
because-
plaque right there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
Park.
Park
Our
School. How about that?
So we walked.
You want me to jump out and take a picture of that?
Yeah.
I can almost see it from here.
I bet these people look out and
I
say,
walked by
"Can you
here.
believe anybody would want to know what that sign said?"
I've walked by here so many times, it ain't funny, and I had no idea.
Amanda, turn it down one intensity so it's not blowing so hard on us. There you go. Yeah, that's
I don't know if that it was on low.
off is fine.
Well, there's one.
Yeah, it's
It's on
fine.
low now.
There's one. I think there's a blower up front, and there's a blower back here.
Yeah, this is good now.
We can hear better.
All right, y'all see that little thing in front of the sign?
Is it a water
That
fountain?
was a water fountain.
Oh.
And it doesn't have the plumbing in it, but it's got a piece of glass, a plexiglass over it. And you can see where the pipe came up and where
Oh.
apparently we drank water. But we used to have to eat our lunch at our desk. And
Yeah, we did.
there was no cafeteria or no play gym or nothing. We had to go out in the back
Yeah,
to play.
because I remember rolling our oranges up and down the aisle and apples. You remember? If you wanted to trade with somebody.
Whatever we carried from home.
Yeah.
Potted spam.
That you found along the way.
Potted spam. Ugh.
I was sitting at my desk one day and I had a cup of tomato soup. And this kid next to me dropped his jelly bean. It rolled across the floor. And I leaned over to pick it up.
And
When I did, I poured soup all down on me and down in my shirt.
That's funny now.
You want that jelly bean, didn't
Got
you?
That reminds me of
I
the
didn't
story.
care about the soup.
The kid, he was a crazy kid. He had a thing of orange juice, and he had done that. He had torn it up like that, and somebody asked him the next night,
What'd you do? Yeah,
how'd
he
you
did
do
it.
They asked him what
Yeah.
time it was. And he went to tell him what time it
They
was.
probably
He poured-
poured it
Yeah,
again.
poured it down his shirt.
Sounds like that
my.
guy that used to hang out at Jess's.
So how did you do that?
Ralph.
Dave?
Did it again?
Did you see where Ralph died?
Yeah.
Samson?
He only
Right.
died 3 or 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Ralph Sampson?
No. The old
Oh.
guy that walked all over town.
The shaky guy?
I'm talking about the guy that did all
No,
this.
not him. That wasn't Ralph. Ralph was the one that was always talking about the world's coming to end and the Russians are coming and everything's going to break apart and go to hell in a handbasket. And you might as well
Where
get
are we
ready. You might as well get ready. It's about to
Go
it's
up here and
about to
turn
all
right.
end.
Gonna go over to Boogie, head out of his house, right?
We'll
Well,
come
since we're out
down.
here, Jeremy. Shouldn't we go to the old church?
We got 32 minutes.
What's your battery on?
32 minutes.
Absolutely.
We might
Love your
have
I don't know
to.
what's going on down here, but somebody's in trouble.
That happens all the
They're
time.
going for dinner.
Going the wrong
Yeah,
way.
if you go down to North Main, if you go up here and then turn left on this little Y,
When you were in that school, did you find was it hard for you to concentrate and focus? Like,
was
because she
all-
would.
That's
your
always
teacher,
been my life. I've always had a hard time concentrating.
Well, your teacher would, she would stand over and give you, she would teach. In other words, it was different grades. If it was second and third grade, it would all be in one classroom. So she would, like, say she would teach, the same teacher, she would teach the,
She turned her hat when she was
she would teach,
Or the next class.
the class, and then the next hour or, whatever, she'd come over, she'd step over, and she would give the second graders, like, work to do, and then she'd come over and teach and talk to the third graders. But I always found it was just so hard for me to block out what she was saying and do my work,
that's me.
focus on my work, and block her out at the same time. It was so hard.
I'm with you on that.
Well,
Well,
no, I had a different teacher. I had a guy. His name was Mr. Bender, and he had a leather strap that he would use for discipline,
Well, there you go.
and he would use the leather strap on you. About that big.
Did he clean the blood off when he got done?
Hair, blood, toenails, teeth. I mean, it was messed up.
You remember what was the guy's name that the principal out that would spank you and then he would cry?
Yeah. I don't, Saunders?
Turn left here, Dad.
No, not here.
Right here.
Top of the hill.
Oh, my fault.
I remember him, Becky, but I don't remember his name. He was the sweetest old man.
Yeah.
Right over where that universe were.
Brother Shirley used to live right here.
Who's that?
He was the one that used to
No, no,
stand on his
no,
head if you
yeah,
gave
right there.
$20. Right there.
One of the good old saints.
Right there on that corner lot there. Brother Shirley.
Oh yeah. He always had candy in his pocket.
Yep.
Is that what you just said?
No.
Brother,
was
so he
standing
went
on
to
his head
church
for
with y'all?
$20. Don't you remember that?
I just thought he was in
Would
the
you stand
spirit.
on your head for $20?
That was a lot of money
Well,
back
that
then.
candy fell out and
I
she
wouldn't
got
stand
it.
on my head for $200.
I just thought he was in the
Times
spirit.
have changed, hasn't it?
Yes, they
Yeah,
have.
we gotta have more
Spirit
money.
hits different people different ways.
Here it is. So we gotta have more money.
we ain't gonna do that no more.
We need a lot more money.
$20. Who do you think we are? Get some cheap people.
Oh, the spirit was strong tonight.
All right,
There he goes again.
right here, that building right there, the blue building.
Yep.
Is the church.
Oh Lord, I remember.
Is it really?
Caught a revival and
No, not here.
somebody
This is the
preached.
first church.
Somebody preached
this
a
was
long
Faith
time
Tabernacle.
Faith
ago.
Tabernacle.
This is where it all started.
I scanned a picture of it last
You
night.
know that
I used
Dad
to
would
play
record
piano in
the
here, and we had
Not Connor Ridge.
Dad would record the programs for on the tape in here after church.
Yep.
And Johnny and Larry and all of us would go over here. See all them cars over there?
Yeah.
Well, they were over there then, but the cars all had push buttons and clutches. You could change the gears. We ground those cars. We moved them. We moved them everywhere. We'd
You
back
leave it in
them
gear
up.
and push the start button.
Yeah.
They
It would never start because we didn't have a key, but it would grind that car all across that parking lot.
I remember this. I remember that place too.
Oh, it's tiny.
Yeah.
It's at an angle. It closes in the back.
Yeah, it seemed big back then.
I remember this place because drunk people would come in.
Yep.
And they smelled like yeast.
Oh,
They did.
There you go.
what is it now? What does it say on that mailbox? Letters?
You good?
Wow. I had no idea it was so small.
It's
It was
tiny.
big back then.
Huh.
Hey, where was the Connor Revival? What building was that?
That was down at the Kavanaugh building
Keep
downtown.
going. There's B&B sales up here.
Well,
or
we're
is there
going
some-
to Ida's first, right?
Well, yeah, I don't know where that is.
It's like,
But you guys don't know B&B sales. I mean, you guys don't really have memories of that.
I do.
I do.
I do. Isn't
Of that?
where you took her
That's where I worked.
Shot Queen?
Oh yeah, we'll see. There you go.
I worked there. That's where I took. Yeah. Dr. Queen was in a
Rosa's
box.
here used to be a restaurant in there. That's where I ate 75 shrimp one night.
At Rosa's? Oh, dang.
Well, I'd set a record. I thought the waitress was going to hug me.
Was it popcorn shrimp?
I think she wanted to hug you for some
Yeah,
other
maybe shrimp
reason
in there
besides
before.
the shrimp eating part.
Was
What
it
was it?
popcorn shrimp?
What was the name of
I
the
don't think
restaurant?
so. I don't.
I remember there was a
Shrimp or us, I
restaurant.
think.
Shrimp Rose.
Was that Grant's before it was Rose's?
That's what. Yeah, Grant's had the restaurant.
Was the restaurant in it?
Yeah.
It was the department store with a restaurant in it.
Oh, we used to pick people up for take to church right down that street all the time.
On Gay Street?
Daddy, oh yeah.
Sister Tolliver.
Yes, and Daddy would not pick. Not
Like
one
this is
woman.
the guy, the blue church right here. Now he's the one that died, and they gathered apple pies up around his grave, and he was going to rise from the dead on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it Easter? Was it
Yeah,
Easter?
I think it might have been. But that was his church right there, and that's
This is Ida's house right there.
What did the apple pies have to do with him raising up?
He was going
it was his favorite. He wouldn't come back unless he had.
That could
They figured he wouldn't come back unless he had apple pies. He put about 8 or 10 apple pies out there. And the birds ate them. They came back on Monday, and the pies were half gone. They said, "See there, you did eat."
Yeah, there's a cellar over here.
Newspaper was out here.
There's a cellar door.
That's where we
At
went
the
down
graveyard and all that. I mean, it was a
There it is.
They
Right
give
down
you,
in that cellar.
give you a cold chill.
In Ida's, there's a cellar.
Is that where the bunkies were?
Oh,
Is that what
yeah.
you were talking about?
Shoot, yeah.
Oh.
Rusty.
You can see him shaking the wood now.
Look at him. Look at him peeking out the front.
What else was spooky is when you go upstairs and you look out them little windows.
Yeah.
That was weird.
And somebody was looking back at
I had no idea
She
there
had
was.
roses all down the whole backyard.
This whole was like a.
She
like
had that
It was like a rainforest back there.
whole, because she had this whole lot all the way back to this other.
To the alley.
it. See that first basement window right there
Yep.
between those trees? That's where Boogie lived.
Oh, in the house or the
Right.
church?
In the church, in the basement.
Did she?
Boogie?
Under the church, yep.
I never knew
Boogie
that.
lived
This
there
first window?
for a couple of years or so.
The one with the little angels in it?
Mm-hmm.
There's pictures of angels or
So-
something there.
So are we going by? Now where are we going? South Avenue.
22 minutes.
There's South Avenue should be the last stop. I don't know of any other place.
I know.
Every place you
as,
go
as a youth,
seems
you
so
cannot
much.
remember the size of stuff.
You know,
I've gone back to high schools, and I thought they'd cut the high school down in half.
yeah, these
So they
places.
would-
You
just
want to
look
drive
so
down Liberty
funny.
Street, Dad?
Liberty.
Where
Yeah.
the store was?
Yeah, that's well. We have to go by there to go to South Avenue.
What's in Harrisonburg High School now? Is it still a high school?
JMU bought it.
JMU.
It's part of their facilities now. They do whatever they
But
do.
it has grown, and I didn't know if the school had grown or something else had bought it.
No, it's JMU.
So I had to walk from South Avenue to Harrisonburg High School.
If y'all need any whiskey, right
Will
here's
you
the
mind
place to buy it.
texting Meredith and telling her that we
hacking cough.
It's
pretty
now,
much on
it's
track
now
to be there at
closed.
6?
Is it really?
Since I'm now
That
going
we're
to meetings.
downtown, but we're headed
Oh.
towards
In there?
South
No.
Avenue, and then we're going to go on to.
Of course, I went in there to get something the other day. and
Where's the
they
ABC
didn't
store
have it.
now?
That is it.
Oh, it's still there?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Isn't that what the ASAP
There's
is?
one out by
As soon as
by the
possible.
Walgreens, not Walgreens, Walmart, over by our house.
There's one down. There's one by Martin's too.
Mm-hmm. It's funny we know that, doesn't it? Where all the liquor stores are.
I've never set foot in there, but I don't know. They do stick out.
Well, they've got. You can mix up a pretty good flame cutter.
Flame cut.
A what cutter?
Flame. When you have a cold in the wintertime, you got a real bad cold.
Phlegm. Oh, phlegm. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I thought you
I
said
didn't
flame.
I didn't get that. This is El Nest Diner.
Whenever my hand.
This is one of the most important buildings here in town, right here.
Oh yeah, they
El Nest Diner.
Is it still open?
Oh yeah, I've had breakfast in it there this week.
So I haven't been there in so long. How many of y'all
That's
work?
where Ralph would pass out there.
All right, that B&B Sales was just the other side.
Right
of
here.
Right
this-
here. You can
yeah,
pull in
this
there if you
building.
want.
Yeah.
Just pull through.
That
Right there in the
that
corner.
building right there.
Yeah. Well, I
there.
remember
Right
going in there.
Yeah.
Right there. 109.
That's recent enough that I've been there.
What is that?
Domingo.
And the laundromat was right
Yep.
beside it. And
So y'all worked here.
I used to work there, yeah. And when Shirley gave Mom and Daddy Jacques,
Will y'all plug that up for me? Plug it where?
Right here.
Um,
There you go.
Pay attention.
Is it charged?
after Angelique died, she bought Jacques, and I wrapped her all up in a box with a pretty bow, and oh my goodness, and took her in there. I knew when I knew both of them were going to be there, and oh, it just about cried. And Mama was a little bit longer warming up. Daddy instantly was just,
To Weber.
oh
He
my
called her Weber.
goodness. Weber.
Yeah.
Hello, Weber. That's what I remember
Made
him
Mama so
saying.
mad.
That lady really painted her car with a bucket of paint.
In a broom.
5 gallon bucket.
LaWanda knows about a crazy woman living across her back fence.
Yes, we have a crazy neighbor.
Demonic stuff.
Well, I asked John, he painted cars. I took you by there one day. I said, I want you to look at, I'm signing a new place. You get your car painted a lot cheaper than what you do it for. she came out. I pulled up in front of the house. She came out, walked past us, went to the mailbox, got some mail, and started wiping her butt. I said, that lady right there is the one that's going to paint the car right there.
All right, guys. My claim to fame is Harrisonburg High School, right here, and I would have to walk to school and home to where we're going to our next stop.
You walk from Grandmother
here-
Garber's to
From
here?
here to South Avenue. Where
Oh,
we're
my
going
I
goodness.
live at the house.
I don't remember.
Did you live with Grandmother Garber?
I went to,
No,
I
we were
went to
there by
school there
ourselves.
too.
See, were they renting it?
Oh, we must have. I don't know if they bought it or not.
She ended up buying it.
But he's the one that got the driveway set.
That's where he was back and forth.
Yeah.
I remember that now. Matter, Dad, can't you park it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, you actually had sidewalks to
Oh,
walk
well,
on.
it was snowing and people
This is-
slushing,
This right here.
throwing
This
stuff all over you up and down the
is where
highway.
Grandmother Garber's house was. Right up this street.
Where?
Grandmother Garber's house. We passed it already back there.
I thought it was on South Avenue.
No, she and Granddaddy, when he had his stroke,
Do we need
That's
to swing
the
around?
house.
That's what I wanted to see.
I thought that was on
Really
South.
quick, go around the block.
Is it on New York Avenue?
no, it's.
Hold it, Becky.
I think it was Ohio.
You have a large ladder.
I'll charge yours.
Hey, we got a cup here.
Yep.
I thought
That's
that
the type of house I remember them living in.
these
So-
little brick houses.
You say it was
Yes.
Ohio, Robert?
New York?
Yeah,
New York, Ohio.
it's one of those. I think it's Ohio.
Ohio sounds familiar to me. Really familiar.
This is where Mimi and Peepaw live?
No.
This is where Grandmother Garber,
John.
the two that built
And Willie.
Redfront originally.
Okay. John and Willie?
And,
Yes.
And he had a stroke and had to be bedridden like for years and years.
All right, this is Ohio.
Yep.
Right.
Turn right.
Okay.
Did he die?
Don't hit the
Did he
Goldie.
die in this house?
Well, that's not.
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, because that's where all
That's
the
an
funeral
all-American
arrangements
dog.
were on the sidewalk.
Okay.
And they cut this road down, cut up the road. It was like a one pig path. So they had a long.
So they actually had the funeral in the house.
I don't know if
I don't know about that.
if
now.
if that was part of the
Do you remember the
visit
house?
the family. No.
I think it's the third one.
Well, if they
from
had
the
that many flowers, they had a lot of
This,
flowers.
this one
They
with
knew a
the
lot of people.
peak right here, the green shutters. I think that was the house.
That was Grandmother Garber's house. This was
This is where my
this
granddad
was after
died.
she lived on Shenandoah Avenue.
See that sidewalk?
Well, you guys,
It was like about
See, I did not know that.
4 times as long.
I
as
was
that
that
I
big?
was 10 years old.
I did not know that.
I was 8, 9, and 10 when we used to come to this house.
He'd sit right in that front window in a wheelchair. His arm was like in his lap.
Yeah.
It was
They put siding
Stroke.
on that since.
I don't even remember him. He was
Yeah,
gone before I was old
yeah.
enough to know what a granddad was. Both
He
of them.
was dead before I was
Grandmother
born.
Garber used to be a checker at Redfront.
Yeah.
She was probably 80 when she's doing that.
Boy, wouldn't you like to have her for a check?
And do you know that
What?
the
Are you sure
grocery
you
store-
want this?
the grocery store next door was selling the same thing Redfront did. And the customer would come through the aisle, bring up the groceries, and they'd say, "I'd like a package of Lucky Strike." Well, she said, "We're out of them right now," so she'd give me a package of Camels and take them over next door to the restroom
and swap them out.
No
to
way.
swap them.
Really?
Yeah. And they would give me the Lucky Strikes, and I'd come back and hand them to her, and
I never heard that story.
and I was like, I was 9 and 10 when I worked there.
Oh my.
and they
That
let
means
you. They let
right
a
after we moved back here.
they let a 9-year-old go with the cigarette.
Go next door
How's
to
this
get
for a long
cigarettes.
walk now?
Absolutely.
On the highway.
Yes.
You still were walking this far?
Yes.
I thought it was a house back there.
No. South-
This is a
South
different
Avenue.
house. Okay.
No.
That's
they lived
a
where
long
Grandmother
walk.
Garber lived before Grandmother Garber did.
And
We did.
Redfront
We did.
used to be on one of these storefront
Right there.
buildings. This one right
That's
here.
Redfront number 2 right there.
Right here.
Building
Okay.
supplies.
Building supplies.
That's where I met Gary.
Really?
I
Wow.
was working right there in
Okay.
that.
In the deli.
No, in the little snack bar up front. I opened it early in the morning, turned the alarm off at 5:30, and
All
would
right.
do the whole breakfast.
My little trek is done.
All right, Ronnie Landis, the guy that built that big stereo cabinet that I didn't ask for, I had to end up taking. He lived in that house right there where tattoos are.
Where the
the
tattoo
corner.
place
And he
is?
built that cabinet in the basement.
Yeah, he did.
That's the room up there on the far right left where Mother threw the clothes out that belonged to Robert. It wasn't, and my room was the front left room.
and
there-
That's
grandmother.
the driveway that Daddy couldn't.
And there was no carport. And there was nothing back here.
And grandmother Garber died
This
in
was
your bedroom.
Totally empty back here.
She threw the clothes out right there on
She
the
died
main
at
street.
home in your
Yeah.
bedroom.
On the grass.
Out the window on the grass.
Just because you
Yes.
wouldn't pick them up.
She did the same thing for
She
Dad
didn't
and
throw my
I.
clothes out. She
We
threw
just
out
were in a
Robert's.
different house.
Yeah.
Now,
It was
hold,
the same mother.
hold
My
on.
mother.
She must have got. It must have was progress for her.
That's the reason we had to work. We lived so high and it was so far down, we just decided to burn our cars.
That
you go.
is the house right
Yep.
there.
Okay,
Now,
so
who
every time
lived
we
here?
would leave, and
Well-
Grandmother Garber would stand on that porch until we were out of sight. She would wave at you
Yeah.
as you were
Dad,
leaving.
Dad and Mother, we all lived here. And
Well,
South-
I did South Avenue.
I did.
And you lived
Shirley
with?
did.
I don't remember.
You lived
Wasn't
with?
there? They bought the house.
Mimi and Peepaw lived there.
Yeah.
And you all lived there. How old were you then? About
I walked to junior high down to Harrisonburg High.
down to Harrisonburg? So you were about
I graduated because
10
for graduation
10
I
to
got a
13.
little clock radio, and I would be back in this back right there, that back room, and I'd get away from all. I'd go back there and I'd turn on Elvis Presley. Oh, I'd get down so close and I was in love with him.
Because that was the devil music.
I remember.
Oh yeah, they did.
I
Not
remember
like Elvis.
listening to Elvis in here. My bedroom was right here where that electric panel is.
That was the dining room, wasn't it?
Square.
Yeah, I thought you were on the back side. You threw your
Because when
clothes out the
Grandmother
back
Garber
window.
was here, that was the dining room.
They changed it.
Yeah.
They took my bedroom, made it dining room.
And they had her sale after she died right out front here. I had to come to the sale to buy the crystal that I have, the
Yeah.
goblets and the crystal.
Yeah.
green stuff?
No, that was Boogie's,
Oh,
but
sorry.
the actual goblets, crystal. The only thing I have from Grandmother Garber, I had to come and buy.
We're like
You had
5
to-
minutes from the restaurant.
All the dogs,
We're
she
good.
had
But I'm
all them ceramic dogs.
They did what?
They were right here
Oh.
under that
Yeah.
those two windows.
Yeah.
And in the
She'd have them all across
fireplace.
there. Yeah, at
She
the
could cook
fireplace.
the best roast beef and those flat noodles.
Oh,
I used to
flat
love eating
noodles. Ooh, that
And-
basement
and-
lights on.
And
When I mowed
that's
her
eerie.
grass,
To me, that's eerie.
Me
too.
Look at
she would
that.
come out and
That was
inspect
a
it.
scary place to
And if I
go.
missed a slip or anything I did wasn't right,
That's the Garber
she
thing.
was out there telling me how to mow that grass. Yeah. All the way down.
And which window would she throw the clothes out of? This one or on the other side?
I was the
on
front
this end
bedroom.
right
It's the
here.
back end on this end down here on the back side.
That's where Robert threw his, or that
One on
Robert.
the left or right.
They couldn't
Our
throw
window-
mine.
I was on the
I
front
didn't
side.
have a window.
He was on the back
They
side.
couldn't throw
You
mine.
didn't have a window.
I had an electric panel.
I guess they just had to burn yours, huh?
Well, I wasn't that bad.
It's crazy
I
that no
didn't need
one's
my
involved
clothes
in
thrown out.
that.
Please give
Somebody
me
always just
a.
kept it.
Amazing. You know that, Robert?
What?
How do you explain no one ever building anything on that?
There's
lot?
even a driveway
I
there.
don't know.
Well, nobody wants to
Well,
live on this
apparently
road now.
that basement has that lot cursed.
Now, when we'd come into town from Louisiana and Bossier City and Shreveport, the first thing we would do would be go downtown to Redfront down at the square down there, and we'd park on the street, right out there on the street, and go in. And the biggest thing that I look forward to was Auntie Jean would take us back to the candy counter, Robert died, and just give us
We got our
candy.
candles too.
She would give
Same
us
place.
candy. And I look forward to that of anything of the trip that I ever did was going in that store and getting candy from him.
And then where would we stay?
I don't
Gene and
remember.
David or up with Grandmother Garber?
I
I
don't
don't think
remember.
anybody stayed with Grandma Garber.
Hey, we haven't been to Boots.
Nobody was that tough.
Hey, Jeremy,
Yeah?
we got time to swing back by Boogie's real quick.
Oh no, please no.
Yeah.
Where at on
It's tore down. I know,
I'll show you where the lot is, though.
but I remember the house.
That house in there.
What time is it?
They wouldn't know the house.
Yeah, but it needs to be part of the story.
it is just up the road there, I guess.
Literally.
I don't mind. Just stop somewhere where I can go to the restroom before we go there.
You could have went back there on that vacant lot.
The basement light was on?
And that, yeah, there was somebody there.
Nobody's ever been
were they?
miserable.
I have been many times.
Now the house we're going to that's not there anymore, is this the house that Boogie used to walk down the street to give the pension check to the other lady?
I don't think so.
No. This,
What house does
We
that
would
say?
drive her car down that lane.
Yeah.
You talking about Butler Street?
Yeah, Butler.
1441 Butler Street. I'll
Yep,
never
that's-
forget
That's
that.
the first place I ever drove a car.
Yeah.
Boogie let all of us drive her car.
That 49 Plymouth.
We would drive it down and get
Go
mail
ahead and go. I'll,
and come
You okay?
back.
yeah, if we can go and do it and not sit there for.
Well, there's nothing to sit there and do. I mean, it's just a matter of driving up and driving away.
But you know,
You
it
turn left
was.
somewhere, right?
Yep,
She was so
about the church.
cute because her, you know, back then the steering wheels were a whole lot bigger, and she was so little, and she could not see. She had to look out through the.
See, right there's a restaurant, so we're ending up in
Remember
Yeah.
that big black Cadillac she had? She had a 57 Cadillac.
Boogie?
Yep.
Hmm.
It was. I think she bought it from Gene and David. She wrecked it out on Pleasant Valley Road.
All right, Boogie knew how to make payments on loans. When she bought the house, she made payments every month for $35, was it?
Was it 16?
We had,
Maybe it was 30, yeah.
yeah, Michelle's got the paper. She's going to make copies.
Remember when the airplane was sitting right there?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
We used to play on that thing.
Now they do other things there.
Kids look at their cell phones.
Korean jet. Korean jet.
Hey, Tide Pods.
Purcell Park.
That's right. Eight tampons. And fart to soap. Oh my goodness.
They what?
How long ago did they tear
They
this?
strip it back.
Those trees back there, they stripped
Oh,
See
everything.
the car, see 81 traffic right there?
Yeah.
That's pretty rare to look up and see cars going that fast through a neighborhood.
Yeah, it wasn't. When she lived here, it
Michelle wanted to
wasn't
make a
there.
copy of this loan paper that Boogie was making payments on because there were so many every month, the same thing. She said, I'm going to frame it and put it in my office because this just doesn't happen this day and time.
Yeah, this was gravel. All
Yep.
this street was gravel.
And these trees weren't there.
Nope.
You can look across the way to Starbucks or to Nanny and Poppy's house.
Yep.
Because there was no interstate.
Not originally, no. You know what? Her house is still there.
Oh, it is still there.
Cool.
Look at that.
I did
Holy
not
moly.
know that.
This
Oh,
is Boogie's house? Oh, I'm glad we came
Boogie's
then.
house.
This is where John B. used to live.
Back there in
It
the
is.
backside.
And her garden was out back.
Yes, it was. Now the road is in the what, but the garden was. Oh my goodness.
What made y'all thought it was tore down?
Well, we just
I thought it was tore
assumed.
down through that parking lot.
Oh,
They
Remember when we put a roof on that thing?
Oh, yeah.
You and me?
Certainly do.
Wow.
We were some kind of contractor.
She'd parked right here.
Yeah.
This is where she
this
parked.
Right here.
She would wash her car with
Kitchen right
kerosene
here.
right here.
with kerosene.
Kerosene.
Wanda's
That's why
worried.
there wasn't no paint
John
on
B
it.
was right in there.
right in there.
Just inside that
Just
door.
inside the door.
On the left or the right?
Straight.
right.
Just straight in.
Yep. That's cool.
This is
Yeah.
where we threaded buttons
And her,
hours
that
after
road,
hours.
that road wasn't there, and it wasn't built up like that, and that's where her garden
She
was.
would invite
Yeah.
everybody over to eat. And she would say, "Your mother likes it,
Yeah,
and you
likes
will
it.
eat
That
some."
lady's taking a picture. Oh, that's Lavonda.
Yeah.
I didn't know Lavonda got out.
Lavonda's going to be worried.
But she
She's
had
driving.
roses
I was just
all up
making
and
sure you weren't
down
driving
this
over her.
whole, where these concrete.
Yeah, she had flowers all over this place. I
can't believe that
remember.
house
I
is
remember
still there.
sunflowers
Wow.
on the
Yes.
edge of her
So how old
garden.
is his house?
Oh Lord,
Oh my heavens.
it's got to be at least 60 years old.
Well, mine
That's the one
was,
that she
mine was
lived in when
96.
she would walk down the street and take the money to the lady
Yeah,
with the 4 kids, and then the lady lived that way.
this way. There was
There
nothing
was
that
nothing
way.
back here at all.
This was the last house,
On
and there was nothing but grass.
so
and
that
dirt.
road wasn't even right there.
No, that's where her garden
Please
was.
don't stay long.
I'm not.
Please. Oh God.
Well, this is pretty desolate back
So
here.
the living room was on this front
Yes.
side.
The right front.
Yep.
You could use this. I'm over there.
And that was the kitchen on the left.
Jeremy, the left window, the left two windows here are
There's
the
the kitchen.
kitchen,
Yep.
and her bedroom was on the back.
Yeah.
That is a tiny house.
Yeah.
It is
It
tiny.
didn't seem like it.
Was
It
that on the back still there?
No.
That little thing with the that
No.
wasn't there.
No, that's new.
Vonda, we would sit in there for hours and string buttons.
They built that little.
That's
that
the
little,
house you'd string buttons in.
Yeah.
That thing on the back is new.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we
Can you
did.
see that rock that was out there?
Yeah, you're not.
Mr. Rock,
It's right
there's
up
a
here.
pole right
But
there.
I'm not going to be able to drive back there, am I?
Yeah. it
There's a
goes
pole right
there.
in front of you,
Back
Dad.
up.
Can I get through that?
Yeah.
Back
You
up
sure?
enough to. Oh,
you
yeah.
can.
That's a bike ride. I'm not sure cars are supposed to be on this.
Yeah, you can go through
You watch the rock, I'm going to watch the pole.
there. Rock's safe.
That sounds like a turn left then.
Chunk of rocks.
It's a cute house.
I did not know that house was still there.
6 o'clock.
I would have bet you money that was torn down. We're in her garden right now.
Yeah.
That's
I
where the
wonder
garden
who
was.
bought that. I mean,
I hope I can get out of here.
Uh-oh.
I hope too you can.
Yep.
You know
I
what?
would say this is a good bit more narrow.
Sorry, Becky.
I'm sorry
This-
you got to back down through that.
This is a,
We got her.
we gotta, this is happening.
I got my curb eaters on.
But you got to back through that pole and that rock.
I'm gonna back around. I'm gonna pull
I
through.
think you can turn around
Why don't you just pull down in her garden there?
I'm in her garden right now.
Her garden was way bigger than her house.
Hey,
No,
let me.
somebody could go to the courthouse and run the records and find out who bought it.
You can
who
go
sold it.
straight back into the grass
Doesn't
and then
look-
drive forward through the rock and the
Yep.
pole.
It doesn't look like anybody lives here.
Yeah, there's a ditch a ways back, but you're not near it yet.
it. If I was you, I'd
Yeah.
go through the left side of that.
Go through the front yard. Can't you?
Doesn't look like anybody's even living there.
It doesn't to me either. Looks pretty empty.
So let's go in. They probably got a potty.
Yeah, let's
Would you like to pee in it,
let's
Becky?
not just wonder if they have a potty.
They definitely have a potty.
Mm-mm.
Stay right to the left.
Well, I think this is where the Howard
No, I
Johnson's
gotta go
was,
there.
right?
Oh,
No,
those
Howard
people-
Johnson's over on the other side of the
Well, that was
interstate.
nerve-wracking back
I
then.
didn't want to go big. Let me tell you what. Seeing that house right there, there's no
Worth the
excuse that I
trip.
didn't know it wasn't there, but it was worth the trip.
Oh my
All-
goodness, no
I think this whole thing's pretty neat today.
$14.41 bucks.
I agree.
Really.
This is
Thank you,
this
Jeremy.
exceeded expectations even.
Oh,
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you all.
Look, there's my boys. Hey guys, what's up? What's up, fools?
So where did that lady live with her kids?
I don't know.
I don't even know that story.
about that.
That story is what inspired me to name Emily Grace.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
How about that?
How about
I
that?
didn't know that.
I should have gotten Emily out and taken her picture on the porch up there.
We still got time. We can do that on the way back.
Eventually
It'll be
cut around.
dark. Or we can do it when you come back.
Just please make a note to remember to do that.
I'll tell you what,
I
Becky,
definitely want to do that. You'll be able to find it
don't
again.
think about
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
water hitting a rock or the sound of a creek
Yeah, I mean,
running down, trinkle.
I lived here my whole life. No,
Tinkle.
half of this stuff is on the
She's
switch.
holding herself up off of her seat right now as we speak.
So I'm gonna
I
pull
know
up
that
in front of the
feeling
restaurant
so
and let you
much.
get out first. Okay?
If I let go of her coat,
She's not even
I'll pull her back.
Do you want some of my drink, Becky?
Drink happy thoughts, baby.
We're real close to being there.
I'm sorry.
We couldn't be any closer.
Just don't tickle her.
It starts.
Who knew Boogie was that close to El Charo?
What? There's something in the tire, right?
He got
He
in
brought the
some.
trailer. Look at him.
Got in some
Back
mud.
that sucker in the front there.
Who did that?
What a man. John?
He wants to drive that truck every bit he can.
Whose truck is that?
It's a rental truck.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
That's a dandy.
We didn't have anything that we could tow the trailer
Letting us
with.
out.
Yep, right here.
I'm bailing.
There you go.